Message is, I think she's got it handled. I really think, looks like she's got it handled. When someone's like, let me help you. It's just, I gotta show you. You know, I'm not sure how, do you know how to do that? And then someone else being like, it's obvious she has it handled. Let her handle it. Okay. So, I thought it was just me, but it wasn't. Over and over, the women I interviewed, hands in the jelly jar. Crisis, I think she's got it handled. Not every day does she scream at me to give her more jelly, but when her brother shoves his whole slobbery 6-month-old hand into her plate, she needs to start over. New plate. Ew. I define empathy as the skill or ability to tap into our own experiences in order to connect with an experience someone is relating to us. Another definition I like comes from a counseling textbook by writers Arn Ivy, A-R-N-I-V-E-Y, Paul Pedersen, and Mary Ivy. They describe empathy as the ability to perceive a situation from the other person's perspective, to see, hear, and feel the unique world of the other. I believe that empathy is best understood as a skill because being empathetic or having a capacity to show empathy is not a quality that is innate or intuitive. We might be naturally sensitive to others, but there's more to empathy than sensitivity. Here's an example of how my friend Dawn's empathetic response helped me through a difficult, shaming moment. Every now and then, maybe 3 times a year, my worlds collide. They aren't small schedule conflicts. They are major collisions involving almost every one of my roles. One weekend in May, a couple years ago, I had one of those collisions. My daughter was having her first ballet recital on the weekend as the university commencement ceremony, the graduation ceremony and the ballet recital overlapped by 2 hours. This was a huge stressor because I had been elected by the students to play an important role in the graduation ceremony. In addition to graduation and the ballet recital that Sunday was Mother's Day, and my entire family and my husband, Steve's family, were coming from out of town for the festivities. The Friday leading into the monster weekend was my last day of teaching for the spring semester and Owen's last day of school. For me, the last day means turning in the grades for my students. For Ellen, it means Teacher Appreciation Day. Steve and I signed up to bring cookies for the Teacher Appreciation Party. In the midst of turning in grades, attending commencement practice. Wow, he's learning very quickly. Ballet dress rehearsal and getting the house ready for company, the cookies slipped my mind. Steve had dropped off Ellen on Friday morning, and when I arrived to pick her up from school, the party sign-up sheet was still hanging on the front door. As I looked down and saw my name next to dessert, I panicked. I really liked and respected Ellen's teachers. How could I have done this? I quickly cased the joint and decided to slink in, grab Ellen and sneak out undetected. But I was making my way down the hall. I came face to face with Ellen's teacher. I immediately went into my nervous, high voice mode. Hi, how are you? How was the party? Ellen's teacher said, great, thanks. It was really fun. The food was great. Oh no, why did you say something about the food? Okay, so she forgets to bring the cookies to the teacher's party, and now she's in for the teacher. Oh, she brought up the food. I descended my high voice made to liar mode. I said, so did Steve bring the cookies this morning? Ellen's teacher looked puzzled and said, I'm not sure. I wasn't here when he dropped her off. So I stood on my tippy toes like I was looking over her shoulder, pointed my finger toward the back of the classroom, pretended like I was scanning the food table and said, oh, there they are. Right there. Yum. They look good. Great. I'm so glad he brought them on time. She looked at me kindly yet knowingly and said, I'll see you in a couple weeks when the summer session starts. Have a good break. I got Ellen literally slithered back to the car. Slithered, like sneakily back to the car. Little snake. Where'd you go? Her daughter buckled into the car seat, in front of the seat. Tears just started pouring down my cheek as I sat there clinging to the steering wheel. I didn't know which was worse, that I had forgotten the cookies or I had lied about bringing the cookies, or the shame of knowing Ellen's teacher might have been thinking, man, That's the worst working mom shuffle I've ever seen. Ellen looked a little worried, so I kept telling her, it's okay, Mommy has a little cry in her. It's no big deal. I cried all the way home. As soon as I got in the door, I called my friend Dawn. The other day, my sister asked me if I was on Adderall. I know, because I was like bouncing off the walls talking about something. And I was like, no, this is just the unmedicated ADHD. And I just kind of, that moment is just kind of funny to me. So I'm holding on to it a little longer. In that split second, the shame turned into something else, something I could handle. Because that moved me away from, I'm so stupid, I'm a terrible mother, to, that was pretty stupid, and I'm an overwhelmed mother. She dropped just enough empathy from the parent at Ellen's school that I lied to the teacher without skipping a beat. She said, what kind of, really, listen to what I did. She stopped joking around and listened. When I was done, she said, look, you're doing the best you can. You have an impossible weekend in front of you. You're just trying to hold it together. You don't want Ellen's teacher to think that you don't appreciate her. That's pretty understandable given the fact that you like her and she's great with Ellen. It's not a big deal. Are you sure? Are you sure? So her friend comforting her, reminding her that to stop overthinking certain situations. It's really okay. We can't talk about shame and body image without talking about the pregnant body. I think there are stages to the pregnant body, each susceptible to shame in its own way. First, there is the woman who wants to become pregnant. I heard the story after story about the pressure to be thin, in top shape before becoming pregnant. As we saw the quote earlier in the book, one woman took her own health and her prenatal care into her hands to avoid being shamed by the doctor because she feared she was too fat to be pregnant. I've read that page and we have shared it. Everyone's a critic. Shame is a profoundly debilitating emotion. It drives our fears of not being good enough. We can learn to feel shame about anything that is real about us. Our shape, our accent, our financial situation, our wrinkles, our size, our illness, or how we spend our day. I thought it was just me, in an urgent and compelling invitation to examine our struggles with shame and to learn valuable tools to become our best, most authentic selves, grounded in exceptional scholarship and filled with inspiring stories. This is one of those rare books that has the potential to turn lives around. Much love, Earthlings.